You want to know why it seems like millennials and Gen Z are just the most depressed generations ever? It's because we are. But there's a real reason for that. Millennials and Gen Z are honestly the first two generations to see the bullshit for what it was. And not only that, we're the first two generations to actually speak out against the bullshit. Like me, for example, I'm a millennial. I'm a younger millennial. I was born in 1991, which essentially is just 6 years before Gen Z. We were the generation that were told by our Gen X and Boomer parents that if you go to college, get a degree, you graduate, you get a good job, that's all you got to do, right? So we said, all right, cool. We went to college. We got our degrees and we started to graduate in the late 2000s and early 2010s. And those degrees didn't mean a damn thing. As a result, we looked at our Boomer and Gen X parents like, why the did you lie to us like that? It's not their fault. They technically didn't lie to us because the reality of when they were growing up, yes, degrees actually mattered. In fact, a lot of our parents got turned down for jobs because they didn't have degrees. They just didn't know that the world would change right as they were telling us that. Bro, we are really the transitional guinea pig generation. Like when I was born, VHS and cassette tapes were popular. But when I graduated college, we had already started to transition into fully digital media libraries. Literally everything ended and began with my generation. Millennials grew up with so many promises that we all thought we were going to be straight if we just followed the formula. That was never the case, bro. So now, here we are in our early 30s, mid 30s, late, some of us even in our early 40s now, still on homes, still in apartments, still kind of just winging it in life. It's even crazier is the fact that the government still sees millennials as children, not realizing that the oldest millennial is in their 40s, bro. We're depressed because we're in a stagnant state. You know what I'm saying? We have not been able to grow. Most millennials' lives honestly have not changed over the last 10 years. You might make a little more money than you did back in 2014, but your living circumstances and all the kind of most likely, it ain't really changed much. Still live in an apartment. You either got the credit score for a house, but you don't got the income, or you got the income, but you don't got the credit. And then with the interest rates being so crazy, it's honestly cheaper to rent a house than it is to buy one. Not to mention that millennials and Gen Z are the generations that just been bombarded with information for our entire lives. Like, yes, awareness is good, but listen, man, too much of anything is a bad thing. And too much awareness definitely takes a toll on your mental health, man. Like everyday war, genocide, famine, gas prices, interest rates, job market. We know too much is overwhelming. Everything's expensive now. When I was in college, I used to go to McDonald's and get a McDouble, a McChicken, a large fry, and a sweet tea for $5.35. I put that same meal in my McDonald's app cart the other day. That motherfucker was $12. And our parents had the audacity to ask us, did we have McDonald's money back in the day? Motherfucker, you mean $4? So yeah, man, if it seems like millennials and Gen Z are just the most depressed and cynical ass generations, it's because we are, for a lot of valid ass reasons. None of us know what the hell going on. We just out here winging it, man. Hey, what's a horror movie?
Good bars.
Hey,
That
man.
was the last year of
good
the
bars.
millennial.
That man was spitting, man. And you know what? The one thing I do like about our generation, you made a good point. Like, I think that we were born probably at the best time ever in history. And what I mean, outside of the, obviously, you know, us getting financially and by the economy, we experienced a little bit of everything. You know, I still have memories of things like cassette tapes, CDs, Blockbuster on Friday nights, three-way phone calls, the first days of the internet. We kind of got to experience those days of just kind of like being a child, playing outside with your friends, riding bikes. But we also got to experience this technological kind of revolution as well. And I think you alluded to in the video, too much of anything is a bad thing. We also have lived through some pretty depressing times. You know, things, 9/11, the pandemic, the recessions. We've seen multiple wars, cold wars. Like, it's not crying and complaining because, you know, we don't do it on this platform. But it's just saying we have seen a lot of different things that a lot of generations have not seen before. And we're probably one of the most unique in that aspect. But they definitely are right. Our parents told us the blueprint to life, which was to go to school, get a degree, get married, get a mortgage. And I don't think they were lying to us, telling us the wrong things, but that playbook worked for them. So they assumed it was going to work for us all these years later, not realizing that times have changed, the economy has changed, and the same things they could afford back in the day on a $35,000 salary is not going to even buy them a fraction of that today. Not to mention, as I already said, we already have more student loan debt. We come out of school not making as much money. Wages haven't moved. but you also have more things to pay for. You have all your streaming services, Netflix, you got your internet services, things like DoorDash. And granted, those things are luxury cell phones, but it's still more to pay for on less money with less purchasing power. It's not fair to millennials that are currently as the economy structure right now. But like I said, we're not here to complain, just trying to make an observation. What y'all got, Destiny? What you think about the video?
I thought it was actually really good because I know, like, for me, speaking about my own experience, that heartbreak that you feel when you come out of school and you got all these big dreams, like, oh, I'm about to go work for the government, I'm gonna be a criminal investigator, I'm doing all the cases, and they tell you, well, you don't got enough experience, and you're gonna be like, wait, but like, I worked so hard in school, I was on the D list, like, nah, like, why is that bad? But I mean, like, no, I thought it was good. I can relate to that. Like, it is depressing and it's a shock for you, because your parents tell you the blueprint plan and then it just blows up in your face.
It's so funny you say that, Destiny. I was at graduation like a little bit over a month ago, right? And this is Tyler Perry line for one of my favorite movies, Temptation. We gotta do a deep dive on that too one day, CMarty. I think doing one of them red pill movie podcasts, that'd be good. But one of the lines of the movie is like, that boy gonna take you to hell. You know, like. And I was sitting here looking at all these kind of like bright-eyed, wide-eyed, like high school students that thinking the world's just ahead of them. I'm like,
and you have
this world about to take you to hell. It's just like you have no idea. Like about to drag your ass by your nuts. Pause. It's literally about to get bad for you. A lot of people, you know. But I just thought that was funny.
Wow. Okay.
What?
Life about to drag you.
Was that
by your
a
nuts.
pause? Should I say hair or something? I don't know.
No.
What?
Christmas. All right. But no, I understand that depression feeling, because I know I definitely felt it. Like, I'm an investigator now, but like at first I was like, why can't I just jump into the job and be like, they're like, no, you don't have the experience or whatever. Like, that kills you, because your parents tell you, hey, if you do this, this, and this is what's gonna happen. And when it doesn't go that way and they don't prepare you for that shocker, it's like, what?
That's another fact too, Destiny. I didn't even think about that. Most people, like the job requirements, they want 5 or 10 years of experience for an entry-level position.
I know.
And then a master's degree and some more stuff. I'm like, bro,
I know.
how do you get experience without experience?
I know. And then, I was completely like floored. But, you know, I mean.
And my parents would tell you that now, because both of my parents are pretty high level, like, you know, government officials. Like, they work for the federal government. And they'll tell you that if they had to re-enter the applicant pool right now, as it's currently structured, they wouldn't qualify for their positions. Like getting a federal government job back in the day, that was like the gold mine for any black person. Just like you get a good retirement, pension, all that stuff. And it's still a good job. Don't get me wrong, but like it's just not as powerful as it was back in the day.
Yeah,
somebody told my grandfather that.
But your grandfather's, like we were just saying, he's still stuck
saying.
in that old blueprint.
Yeah, he doesn't understand.
Now, don't get me wrong. The government's still one of the better jobs to have out here. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not like that. Like you were pretty much guaranteed to be financially set if you had a government job back in the day. Could it still possibly be that? Sure, but just significantly reduced as far as impact and everything.
Oh yeah, he was, and he still is. That's probably why he's gunning for
that. Did he retire from the government?
He did. He worked in the Capitol. He was an accountant.
And he probably got that original retirement package too.
And he was in the Air Force, so he got a lot.
Yeah, I knew your grandfather probably sitting pretty. I ain't mad at that. I
used to get, for my birthday and Christmas, we would all get checks for like to put towards stuff in the future, and he definitely, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, again, that's an antiquated way. And honestly, if I could do it all over again, I would not have gone to college, especially for the degree that I got. I would have done one or two things. It would have been military, when they got that VA loan, or had them pay for my school, something like that, and just kind of suffer for those 4 or 5 years. Or I would have gone to like plumbing school, HVAC. And I think you were saying this earlier, CMarty. We don't find those jobs like quote unquote sexy, but them are the ones that make bank. You got a skill or something. It's not the sexy walking into an accountant firm with the, your 3-piece suit on and stuff, but like you're gonna be making money, especially if you go in to get an apprenticeship and then you go open your own business. I mean, you could easily clear $1 million a year if you're doing any kind of good business. Of course, not overnight. Nothing's overnight, but you know what I mean.
Tell people the degree that you have.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, criminal justice.
There you go.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
There
Criminology.
you go.
See,
'Cause you
but
said you
like
wouldn't
I
know
said, I wouldn't. And my mom tried to tell me she shouldn't do. I thought I knew everything in that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she was right. And I mean, you know, you say that a lot to your parents as you get older, but
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta bump your head a little bit to before you understand
It's a
how
good
life
major
works.
though. My mom, it was between theater and criminology. She was like, "I ain't paying $6,000 a year for
I'm
you to
glad
be
you ain't
theater."
do that theater bullshit. I'm glad you did.
I was a theater kid. That's the reason why I was like, "Wait, I want to be on stage." She's like, "Hell no," but okay. But criminology, no, it's a good major.
What you got, CMarty?
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
say it depends on the situation when it comes to parents, because it's people that I'm like me, listening to parents my whole life, and then finally get to a point where it's like I can't listen no more. Like that's not working.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation too, bro. But like, you know, especially your mother, like your mother wants to protect you from risk. So like, even Tyler Perry talks about this. As much as he loved his mom would tell him things like, you know, you shouldn't be writing plays, go get a real job, things like that. And it's not necessarily from a malicious point. I'm not gonna say all parents, but it's just like they're trying to protect you from potentially hurting yourself and taking on more risk. But we all know that without risk, there's no chance of reward. So
High risk, high reward.
parents, especially mothers, are normally more risk averse, and it's not necessarily them being malicious. It's just they're trying to protect you from potentially harming yourself.
Definitely.
Very true.